Oh, hello, 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 hello. How's it going, people? Welcome to the stream. Welcome, 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 welcome. Oh, what can we talk about? Of course, there's lots to talk about, to be honest, from the Arsenal side, because there have been lots of talks. Arsenal apparently are interested in Leon Goretzka. We're going to discuss that. We're going to talk about Mikel Arteta's interview, but not fully because he has said some things which really I just wanted to discuss. Nothing too much to basically get into. Well, let's just put it that way. Either judgmental, either too deep into anything. But overall, definitely Arteta has said some things which are not sitting well if you're looking at Arsenal long term. Let's just put it that way. Definitely not sitting well long term if you're looking at it from that point of view. But yeah, Arsenal transfer window. Tomorrow we are playing Bournemouth. Definitely lots of stuff to talk about, lots of stuff to discuss, to be prepared, and to share opinions around. So do me the favor. If you're new around here, subscribe, smash the like button if you haven't already, and of course, leave your thoughts down in the live chat. But the biggest one today, which obviously happened yesterday, as we were live, obviously Man City were playing Sunderland at the Stadium of Light, and Man City drew, which just proves once again that Sunderland is going to be a tough opponent for anyone who is going to face them at their home. And Sunderland actually were very good, very organized, and the nuts part is they did it without some of their main players, even because they are at AFCON. So they did a very fantastic job. Hard fought point at Stadium of Light, which is fantastic. Obviously, it helps Arsenal a lot as well because now it's a 4-point gap. It's no more 3-point gap between Arsenal and Man City, which obviously it's a great thing. For Arsenal, it's definitely a great thing. We have that extra cushion. Let's just put it that way. If something tends to go wrong, we still have a chance to basically fix it if we are looking from that point of view in the next game on quite, let's just say, quick basis. Let's just put it that way. Of course, as well, Leeds drew against Liverpool yesterday away at Anfield. And yeah, if Liverpool were closing in on us, if it was only 10 points, what it felt like, at the moment it's again 12. So Liverpool, again, they have fallen behind. And to be honest, Leeds have had very tough schedule in the last 6-7 games. I'm not going to lie. And they have come out kind of unscathed for a team that's basically has just been promoted in those terms. And 3 draws, 3 wins, 2 draws against Liverpool, 3-3 at Elland Road, and 0-0 at Anfield. Fantastic for them, and well, obviously fantastic for Arsenal. We have increased the gap. Let's just put it that way. We have increased the gap between us and Man City, between us and, of course, and Aston Villa, and of course, on top of all that, between us and well, everyone, to be honest. So that is going well. That's playing well in our hands, and yeah, it's great. It's definitely quite fantastic. Big up BBK, big up. Exactly. Don't forget to coach Granit Xhaka into the player we saw yesterday and we have seen in general throughout this season at Manchester City. Of course, it was Mikel Arteta, the best manager in the world, the best looking one. The super duper Mick has coached him, hence why Granit Xhaka is this good right now. That's the only reason he won the Invincible trophy at Bundesliga. He won the double. He got to the final of Europa League. That's why. That's the only reason why. Let's be real, people. Let's not gloss over that fact, of course. Big up, Rasta Stocks. Big up, big up, big up, big up, big up. Hope you're doing well today, bro. I know the pain. You drew against Wolves, again, car park settings and everything. Not looking great for you a lot. Definitely not. Although, I'm not gonna lie, you are 6th or 7th in the table, not looking that bad, but obviously you could look 10 times better. If you actually could win certain games, you should be winning. Let's just put it that way. Definitely, if you're looking from that point of view. In other news, of course, Chelsea have sacked, Goretzka has resigned. Let's just say politically correct. Let's just put it that way. Obviously, Rossenier, the Strasbourg coach, is the number 1 target for them to replace him. Apparently, he's already going to be in the place for the game. Maybe not this weekend, but also might be this weekend. But it doesn't look that way. He will be definitely the coach for the next game Chelsea play after Man City on the weekend. He's going to be the new coach against Arsenal in the Carabao Cup semifinals. So the new manager bounce and all that. Ha. But it's going to be interesting to see. Definitely lots of stuff moving around. Definitely would have been put Maresca as one of those managers who is going to go. But it has happened. He actually, after winning Club World Cup, after winning Conference League, being top 6, if I'm not mistaken, in the league, like 6th, I think. it's kind of interesting, to be honest. If you look at this, he has spent less time than Amorim at the job, less time than Mikel Arteta, without shadow of a doubt. So it's very interesting. Like Chelsea are moving still managers like revolving door, as they did under Roman Abramovich, but at the same time they're still successful. So we'll see how that's going to go. Chelsea are, in my opinion, a bit of a side note, obviously, in this stage where they were kind of before Roman Abramovich took over. They had their shared time in limelight for almost 2 decades under Roman, right? And after Roman left, Chelsea have become the same team they kind of were, well, before Roman arrived at Chelsea. That's at least what it feels like at the moment. So it's going to be interesting to see what Chelsea does, because Chelsea have signed so many players. They are, I don't know what they're doing even. Genuinely, they are, what they're gonna do, it's gonna be very interesting to see. Let's just put it that way. Let's just say it like that. Big up Gunner for life. Happy New Year to you too, brother. Happy New Year to you, your family. Hope you had a fantastic celebration as well in the new year. So hopefully you're doing just fine. Here is Restastocks link, people. Go subscribe to him. Go show him some love. Here is also BBK's link. Go show him some love, of course, if you haven't already. Arteta help Maresca. I wouldn't take Maresca at all at this club. I'm not gonna lie. Big up AJ. Big up AJ, by the way. Like the stream and subscribe. Listen to AJ, what he's saying, people, if you haven't already. But we'll see, we'll see. Chelsea are so dumb making a good manager leave. I'm not too sure there it is so blatantly forward as people may think. Because there are some rumblings going around in the footballing world, let's just put it that way, that Goretzka was playing some players injured. There are some disagreements in the dressing room, some disagreements with the board. And basically, it wasn't a pre-sight. Obviously, we can only speculate, but as long as we actually figure stuff out, we will see. We will see, obviously. Bigger. See, the writing is on the wall. Maybe Amorim is going to leave, but when is Amorim going to leave? That is the next question. Will he leave? Because if I'm not mistaken, by the way, I read today that Amorim doesn't expect also much action in January transfer window for Manchester United. He said you have the players that you need and you're going to utilize them. Technically speaking, you might actually not sign anyone. That is the nuts part. You actually might not sign anyone. Yeah, see that the fact that he left before Amorim, definitely it's a quite completely different thing if we are looking from that point of view. Now that Trice is in 104 different injuries before the start of last season. Yeah, and it's not looking pretty, is it? Definitely it is not looking pretty. Let's just put it that way. But there are some things Mikel Arteta has said about Declan Rice. So as AJ is mentioning him, we actually might look at it. Let's just put it that way. Well, one of the things he said about him is that Mikel Arteta, on if Declan Rice should have been substituted against Brighton when he was signaling in the 62nd minute that he has some issues, maybe he should be taken off. He said, no, that's normal. He should not have been subbed off. You get a hit, and throughout the game you are with adrenaline, then because you are warm, able to sustain that, then body reacts, and it reacted more than we expected. I guess Mikel Arteta thought that it might not be as bad just because he's in the heat of the moment. The adrenaline is going to pull him through, and it might be just a knock, because there are some minor knocks you basically get during a game, and as you know, as they say in the USA, just walk it off. Right, and after that you're just fine. But it's quite evident that the moment that this injury that he said just to walk it off, it's not going to be one of those, because he also talked about him a bit more regarding Declan Rice, saying that the swelling on Declan Rice's knee still has not reduced, which is a worry, because the longer it stays, the worse it could actually be. Let's just put it that way. And they haven't trained today. He said they have another training session that is today, basically. And let's see how he comes in, because they haven't trained since it was New Year's, since it was holiday time. Let's just put it that, for lack of a better word. And playing against Villa would have been too soon. But it looks like they haven't even done the scans on Declan Rice, which obviously is a big, big worry. Because if the swelling is still there and it's kind of messing up the imaging of the injury, it's definitely not looking good. And for Arsenal not having a proper backup for him, that definitely is a bit of a worry, to say the least. It's not even a bit of it, it's a massive worry. Let's just put it that way, because one of those players that Arsenal, in my opinion, don't have a replacement unless we play Skelly maybe in the midfield to some degree. is Declan Rice, because for every single position we actually have some somewhat more or less adequate cover, right? Even in defense, even in the attack. The number 8 role where Declan Rice plays is the one where we actually have nothing to some degree, because people say Merino, but the my general consensus from what I have seen on social media, on this stream, on Reddit, on TikTok and everything, people actually are not convinced about Merino in the midfield. Because he's too slow. He feels like he's too weak. He dives a lot for a 6'2", 6'3" body frame. He's getting shoved off the ball too easily. He doesn't hold on to the ball too much well. And that number 8 role is a bit of a mystery for Arsenal. It's like a dark hole, right? Because as soon as you unplug it, it's done. If Declan Rice gets taken out of it, we are kind of screwed. I'm not gonna lie, because we can even replace Gabriel to some level. With Hincapié, with Calafiori, we can replace Saliba with Mosquera, technically with Simba, right back. You can say Ben White and everything. Saka has Madueke. We have 3 strikers, so to speak, left wings. Let's be real, Trossard is very, very good. Zubimendi actually can be replaced as well. Left back instance as well, so goalkeeping as well. So Declan Rice is the only instance that for Arsenal is a bit of an issue. Not even a bit of it, it's quite a bit of an issue. And if this injury turns out to be a long-term type of injury where he's out for a month, 2 months, especially with the schedule we have specifically in January and early February, it could be a massive worry. Let's just put it that way. But at the moment, I'm not getting too pissed off. We'll have to see the scans. We have to take it one game at a time. And looking at the games we have this month, we should be able also win pretty much every single one of them without Declan Rice. Maybe Liverpool definitely will be a struggle given their abilities in the midfield and how they can play through the midfield. But besides Liverpool, our midfield is actually very solid against pretty much every single team we play, against Leeds, against Nottingham Forest, against Bournemouth, even United. Khairat Almaty, let's be real, against Chelsea, we also should be fine, so to speak. So we should be able to deal without Declan Rice. And given that we have the depth, so to speak, we should be able to live with that as well, definitely. Realistically, do you think we sign anyone this January? I wouldn't hold my breath on that. Definitely would not hold my breath on that. Because I kind of don't see anyone getting signed. Maybe a loan. Arsenal, obviously, we talked about this yesterday as well. Arsenal in a very healthy and very good position in terms financially, even with FFP, even with PSR and all this stuff. But given the amount that we have spent in January, if we start spending in summer, if we start spending in January, right, it would put Arsenal in a bit of a disadvantage in terms of sustainability, right? The best case scenario I can see a loan, or if we sell someone for actually substantial amount of money, let's be real, then I can see us buying someone, because Mikel Arteta has spoken in an interview as well, and so he got asked about the signings, and he said that they're open to every option. If we can find a solution that is short term, medium, or long, it's always much better. But let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Let's see what the news is in the next few weeks, and we'll try to make the right decision. So basically, what it feels like, Arteta and the team in general and the club is waiting to see how the injuries pan out. How big is the extent of Rice's injury? How good is going to look Declan, how Jesus, Havertz, once he comes back, Mosquera, all these guys, how they will look coming back from injury? Will we need more cover and all this stuff? I think we are playing the waiting game. And obviously, based on January last year, where basically it bit us in the ass, let's be real, with Saka getting injured, with Jesus getting injured once again, with us not signing, even Ollie Watkins, not signing Kvaratskhelia, who was available. It definitely gives that bit of an issue that Arsenal, again, are playing it safe and internal solutions, as it got portrayed last season. It could be a bit of a worry. It definitely could become a bit of a worry, but only time will tell. Only time will tell, because we are playing this safe, we are playing this pragmatic, and this is definitely not a good sign. Let's just put it that way. Playing it safe for Arsenal, if we are looking at it from that point of view, definitely is not a good sign. Saying that, saying that, right? Arsenal have been linked with Leon Goretzka, about 13 to 15 million pounds. Apparently, Arsenal are interested in Leon Goretzka. Now, the nuts part is we have been interested in Leon Goretzka since like 2016, 2017, from Schalke days, if I'm not mistaken. Even they're interested in Leon Goretzka. And then when he moved to Bayern, we have always been with these Kimmich and Goretzka. It's always been one or the other over the last 5-6 windows in general. We have been quite a bit interested in Leon Goretzka. The issue with this is that there are quite a few teams interested in him. There's Spurs, Atletico Madrid, Sevilla. I think Sevilla, Goretzka will not go to Sevilla. He will go to a bigger team. And Manchester United. The thing is, Arsenal, and it says in the second paragraph, it says it quite straight up forward. The German international has been offered to the Gunners by his representatives, who also manage Kai Havertz. So Goretzka and Havertz have the same management, right? However, the Gunners are more likely to wait until the summer when Goretzka could be available on free. His contract runs out unless he signs a new deal. Leon Goretzka basically is going to cost some money. Let's be real. And if we look at Arsenal at the moment in general, Leon Goretzka as a proper straight-up backup and even the starter in certain games instead of Declan Rice would be actually very beneficial for us. Let's not forget, 2 years ago, we played against Bayern Munich in quarterfinals of Champions League, and Leon Goretzka, together with Kimmich, dunked on us big time, home and away. He's not a bad player. Leon Goretzka, isn't he like 30, though? Leon Goretzka, right? He's at the moment, he's 30 years old. 30 years old in almost exactly a month. He's going to be 31. So he definitely would bring that experience. He still is a very good player. Obviously, he's a bit of a gamble given his age, given the fact that he has played his whole career in Bundesliga. He hasn't played outside. So definitely it would be a bit of a gamble in those terms. However, if it would be a free, I will not be against that in summer. If Arsenal would need someone right now, I think for Rice's replacement, signing Goretzka would not be the worst case scenario, because there's no chance in hell. And I'm sorry for every Merino fan, right? He won't be worse than Mikel Merino. No chance. It's very hard to do so, to be worse than Merino in the midfield, because Merino is better at striker for us, a position he has played for a year and a half, and only since he's joined Arsenal, than in the position where he has played his whole life, which is number 8, number 6, which is quite weird. Let's just put it that way, for the lack of a better word, right? But yeah, Leon Goretzka, if we sign him right now, 15, even 20 million, I'm not against that. Because that actually would be a very decent signing, especially given the Rice's current situation. We don't know the extent of the injury. We don't know the extent of any situation surrounding Declan Rice due to swelling and due to everything. So time only will tell if you're looking from that point of view. So hope is there, obviously, but we'll see. But definitely we will see. Big up, Wahaha. Big up, Wahaha. Hope you're doing well today, bro. Subscribe to Wahaha. Big up here. Hope everything's fine with you. Big up. If the players ask to come off, you take them off. Yeah, but it doesn't happen like that at Arsenal. Arteta has pushed injured players back on the pitch. We have seen it. The video evidence is all across the pitch over the last 6.5 years. So would not be surprised. If we want to win the league now, drop the 75 million pounds on Adam Wharton. Yeah, to be honest, if you want long term, just drop money for Wharton right now. The shirts will sell. It's going to pay back all the money without shadow of a doubt. Although saying that, with Crystal Palace, would they want to get rid of one of their main, if not the main guy at the moment? I'm not too sure. They would ask even more amount of money. Because January, obviously, it's the premium time for teams to strengthen. And every smaller team knows that. And they obviously going to poach some of their best players, which means they can ask the premium dollar at the moment, obviously. And if teams are fighting relegation, they are mid-table with some struggle situations surrounding them, they will not want to lose the players that is holding their team together and risk some long-term consequences, and not the best ones as well. So we'll see, but I would love for Arsenal to act like a big team, go to a smaller team, drop the bag on the table and say, see, here is the money. We want that player. He's coming to us. Take it or leave it. Because Arsenal don't do that too often. Like, Arsenal don't sign some of the smaller teams' best players pretty much at all. We don't do that. We don't do what City sometimes does, what Liverpool does, what United does, what Chelsea does. We don't, Chelsea right now, a bit different, but it's the same terms apply. We don't go to Crystal Palace to sign Olise. Yes, we signed Eze, which is fantastic, but that's one-off. We didn't go to, at the time, to sign someone like Olise, some and all these players. It's a bit worrying in that regard. So we'll see. Big up Mubarak, big up. We're thrilled Man City drop points. Yeah, just the Genesis and Arsenal just contain wins. Yeah, exactly. 4 points clear. We have increased the gap over everyone who was running after us. So obviously, it's a very good sign. If we can sustain this, if we actually right now, tomorrow, if we get 3 points again, because last year against Bournemouth was an absolute disaster, home and away. That red card for Saliba home as well, it wasn't pretty. It was very ugly. The better than that, and credit where credit is due to Mikel Arteta and Arsenal this season, we are rewriting our wrongs from last season in a very good light. Because I said this in the summer transfer window. I said this also throughout the first part of the season. If Arsenal can manage to get even the same amount of wins they did last year, and turn from those 14 draws at least 7 to 9 into wins, that means at least 14 to 21 extra points, more chances than not we win the league. Let's be real. Let's be honest with ourselves. So as long as we keep doing that, we keep rewriting our wrongs from last year. Draw a Palace at home, Everton game, losses to Bournemouth and all this stuff. We should be good. We should be good if we still keep up picking the wins at the same pace. The thing is, there is still 19 games to go. And we cannot get ahead of ourselves. And the time only will show what is what and where it's going to go at the end of the day. In my opinion, go all out on Morgan Rogers. I wouldn't be against that. Definitely would not be against that. Although dealing with Villa, Emery, with Morgan Rogers, that would be absolutely insane at the moment. That would be 100+ million instantly. Like, it feels that way, especially he's England international, one of their best players at Villa, one of those guys who is up and coming for England national team as well. Definitely would be very, 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 very nuts. Goretzka is not washed. He's a bit of a risk, definitely, since he's played his almost whole life in Bundesliga, but he's definitely not washed. The same washed Goretzka dunked on us 2 years ago. Like, we cannot say that. One game against Arsenal where they lose against us in Champions League, and that is their only loss they have suffered this season. You cannot tell me that Goretzka is washed. I can factually tell you, Leon is not washed. I'm out for Bayern Munich fans. They don't want... Exactly. So as much as I have watched Bundesliga, I've watched the Bayern Munich. Goretzka looks very good. Very good. And he's not washed. He's 30 years old. He's going to be 31 in a month, pretty much, right? 34 days. He's not bad. He's not going to... The question is how he will adapt to Premier League. Saying that, he is a proven winner. He knows how to win the league, the cups, World Cup, ironically enough. He knows how to win it all. And we need more players like that in the team who know how to do it, who have been there, who have done that. Because it feels like we don't have enough of those type of players. And even the players we do have who have won some stuff, excluding Declan Rice, none of them have been the leaders in their own teams. The other players have been role players. They haven't had the privilege and that experience to carry their teams over the line. And Leon Goretzka definitely strikes me as a player who has done it. We have seen it. And he definitely would be one of those players, in my opinion. Let's just put it that way. I think we're going to sound Boadi, I think it could. We are. We'll see. Price tag for Goretzka, apparently 15 to 20 million. I read that it's 13 million pounds, 15 million pounds, but I would expect something like 20 at the end of the day. I don't think it's going to be like 30, 40. Bayern Munich cannot ask too much. He has last year left on the deal, 6 months left. So we'll see. We'll see. No more than 30, yeah, exactly. No more than 30. He will not be 30. I don't think he even gets close to that. We need actually striker as well because Gyökeres can't do it. We'll see. I think Arsenal are in this spot where they are not going to sign another striker. Jesus back from injury looks very good, very sharp. The question is how Havertz is going to look when he comes back. And it's very evident that Mikel Arteta doesn't care if your player scores 30 goals a season. He wants to play it as a team. Yes, our biggest strength in this specific Arsenal is defense, not the attack, which also kind of shows why Gyökeres is not bagging the goals. Yes, there have been good movements. Yes, he has missed big chances. Yes, he doesn't have the link-up play. And with Jesus and even Havertz up top, we look more fluid. However, we lack the finishing touch, which obviously Gyökeres provides. I would say if we could see maybe try together Gyökeres with Jesus, Gyökeres together with Havertz, with both of them, one has link-up play, one has the finishing touch, it would be a very interesting dynamic to see up top. But I don't think we're going to see that from Arsenal at all. So we basically have to pick the best of both worlds at some stages. We play one and then play the other. And it feels like we are playing Gyökeres basically to take off attention from Saka and Trossard or Martinelli for the time he's on. He plays basically WWE with the defenders, tires them out. And once they're tired enough, we sub on Jesus, most likely, or Havertz to have some more technical ability, some more skill ability, where the tired legs basically cannot keep up with fast and indirect movements, which basically plays to our advantage, which feels like somehow this was the reason how we last season scored many goals, and this season as well. We 100% need reinforcements this January. We messed up last season not signing anyone. Yeah, but that is the issue with Arsenal to some degree. I'm not going to lie. In January, we tend to be very, 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 very silent. And that is the big issue. Even though we have signed players in January. Remember, Trossard, Kivior, Jorginho, all in one window and all this stuff. But we don't sign anyone big, anyone massive in January, which obviously is a bit of an issue. I'm not going to lie. The last time we signed somebody massive in January was Aubameyang. And that also was mostly driven by the fact that we basically, with United, did the swap deal, Alexis for Mkhitaryan. We need another star quality player in our team. So we'll see how that's going to go. Goretzka is a gamble. We need certainty. Yeah. But at this stage, everyone's a gamble and everything's an uncertainty. Nothing's going to be certain these days. Big up, Terry Tibbs. Big up. What's the Rice news? Nothing much. Arteta said that they haven't trained. Today they had another training. Then they're going to see how the swelling looks, how everything is going to happen. The swelling apparently is still messing up the imaging from the scans, MRIs, and all this stuff. So time only will tell. It depends how Declan Rice basically walked into the Soba Reality Training Center, aka Colney, today. And how much was the swelling and how bad does it look if it was good enough to do the scans. And we're not going to know it tomorrow or until day after tomorrow, maybe even. Big up views. Smash the likes, people. Share the stream. Subscribe if you're new. And subscribe to Views on Sport as well. A real one does the watch-along streams, panel shows, everything. Top guy. Top guy. Yeah, exactly. As a 2-3 year stopgap player, Goretzka is perfect. And even if he also will not play the main role. He's not going to play the main role because he's not going to play over Rice or Zubimendi. However, there will be definitely an extensive amount of games where he will start. 100%. He actually is that good. Big up Anfield the Red. Big up. Quentin Timber would cost 30 million now. Potentially, yeah. The question is, will he want to move and will he see that? Will Arsenal go for him? Because I haven't seen Arsenal being linked with Timber much. Let's just put it that way. Slot helps me sleep. Brother, you have not seen Arsenal then. Merino is one of the worst midfielders I've seen at Arsenal. I would say in the last decade and a half, since 2010, I definitely would agree with that, 100%. Subscribe to Views. Here is his link, people. Go show him some love. Big up Fusions, not Jazz. Hope you're doing well. Why not try and get Kobe? Yeah, go get Kobe Mainoo from Man United. I definitely would not be against getting Kobe Mainoo at Arsenal as well. 100% would not be against that. I'm all for it. Has a centre-back ever scored a hat-trick in Premier League history? If no, Gabriel will be the first when you face us. I don't think so. I think some... has anyone scored a hat-trick? Well, no, in Premier League apparently no, but if you want to count 2 own goals and 1 goal in the other side of the net as a hat-trick, I think Faes from Leicester that one season scored. you want to count that. But Arsenal don't do things. That is the biggest issue at times, definitely. City fans think 4-1-2-3 will work with two wingers, two cams, and two strikers with one DM and four at the back. For City, it definitely would work. For City, it would work, but also not all the time. In only specific games, it will work. Against Arsenal, it's not going to work. I can see the vision with this type of setup with the players they would basically utilize in this formation, but not for every single team they play. They might create enough though with that. That definitely helps creative part, especially if you pin down the team in their own box and they cannot get out of the box or their own half. And then don't you need much defensive work, definitely. Big up Sacks. Big up. Yeah, Gyökeres definitely seems it's not looking right. Let's just put it that way. If it makes sense, Arsenal won't do it. And unfortunately, that is the biggest drawback in Arsenal, especially in January transfer windows, especially. It took us a decade to sign a proper number 6 to replace Patrick Vieira. So Arsenal also like to take their sweet damn time as well on all of this stuff. So definitely it's not that great. We're not gonna trade Zubimendi. Trades are not an easy deal. This is not NBA, and it's never gonna happen. We are not gonna sell him. Jesus definitely also is not leaving. I just put it that way. I would say Goretzka, but the Bayern ain't letting him go to us. That's the thing. Goretzka has 6 months left, so either they actually could sell him right now, right, and get some money, or he leaves for free in summer, unless he has a massive U-turn, as the media likes to say it, and he signs an extended deal. But it doesn't look like that's also gonna happen. It doesn't feel like it's gonna happen. I'm a biggest Gyökeres supporter, but his hold-up play, touch aerial ability are... Yeah, and that is something I don't get. I realize that Gyökeres has his strengths, but he also has quite a bit of weaknesses. And in the way Arsenal want to play football, in Mikel Arteta's style and his system, Gyökeres doesn't suit it. It would suit Arsenal if we put in 56 crosses like we did against Inter Milan last year, of course, right? But the aerial ability, it's a mystery to me with Gyökeres. Given his body frame, his height, and his size, somehow Gabriel Jesus, being literally as tall as a toddler, can fight better in aerial duels than Gyökeres, which definitely size isn't everything. Let's just put it that way. 14 likes. Big up to you all. Big up to you all. Havertz will be welcomed back by the players as he links the... Yeah, exactly. Just like Jesus, 100%. Gyökeres has been anonymous, sadly, and has contributed so little. Yeah. Ironically enough, he's our top goal scorer in Premier League with 5 goals. At the same time, he's not contributing enough. He is not contributing enough for all the debacle we went through in the summer, looking at his past records of goal scoring and everything. He definitely is not contributing enough. Let's just put it that way. And the sad part is he is not he also is not that type of a player who can create for himself in tight spaces, which obviously Jesus can do and Havertz to a certain degree. Sadly enough, Gyökeres cannot do that. He needs some open spaces. He needs the runs in between the lines and for the players to find him. And he's doing that. He's making some good runs. Obviously, not always our players give him the ball. That's a different story. And when he gets the ball, when he gets the chance, he's like he's out of practice, first of all, because he doesn't get the chances to even get in the rhythm, which means there are bigger chances that he's going to miss even the 1-2 chances he gets during the game. But the misses he had against Villa definitely doesn't portray him in a very good limelight. And you cannot help but wonder sometimes, what was the point in all this half a summer debacle in signing Gyökeres, with all the drama, with the lawyer, with the moving, with the disagreements with Sporting Lisbon's board and everything? When you look at Jesus, you look at Havertz, you could have signed Julian Alvarez instead. You could have signed another striker who would suit us more. Let's just put it that way. We are not going to change our entire system. Yeah, we're not. Gyökeres also, it goes both ways. It has to go both ways. Gyökeres needs to adapt to Arsenal, and Arsenal also needs to adapt to Gyökeres to a certain degree. Let's just put it that way. And For me, I cannot help but when I watch Gyökeres, and even myself to some degree in last year's streams when I was saying that Gyökeres gets no service, it kind of cannot help but reminisce in the quote that Thierry Henry said about Arsene Wenger when he was talking to Wenger and he told him that he doesn't get the ball enough and everything because I can see the player, but he doesn't pass me the ball. And then Wenger just asked him, you can see Lumbag, you can see Perez, you can see Dennis, but do they see you? Because the passageway can be blocked, the vision could be blocked. Have you opened yourself enough? Have you put him in your line of sight? Because many players have different visions. Some has 360 who's like Modric or Pirlo or Xavi or someone like that. Some has a bit more of a tunnel vision who see just in a limited sight frame, where basically if you're not in it, you're not going to be seen, you are not going to get the ball, which also sometimes feels like happens at Arsenal, hence why Gyökeres sometimes doesn't get the service, where you can see that he's making the run, you can see he can go in one-on-one, but the player just doesn't pass him the ball because the pass actually could be there, but he just doesn't see the player from that point of view. It goes both ways, no matter how you look at it. Gyökeres needs to adapt to players, and players need to adapt to Gyökeres, and it feels like both are struggling to a certain degree with that. We have all seen Havertz up top. Havertz is not rubbish. He just doesn't have the finishing touch, and that is the biggest thing. Nobody was complaining when Havertz basically riled Konate to an extent where he got a red card. Nobody was complaining when he has scored certain goals. The issue is Havertz is inconsistent, and he doesn't have enough of a finishing touch to be out-and-out number 9, just like Jesus. They have the touch, they have the abilities, the technical ability for the hold-up play, ball distribution. But once it gets to crunch time in the box, 6-yard box, 12-yard box, to basically deliver the final blow into the goal, that's the place where they're lacking the most. And that is what's basically, over the last few seasons, actually has cost Arsenal, unfortunately. Let's just put it that way. Gyökeres has shown nothing to prove that he's a great finisher. He takes heavy, and that is the thing, heavy touches, and that is the biggest thing. He doesn't have these open spaces like he used to, and I think he's struggling with that. Gyökeres also strikes me as a very, very big confidence player. He needs, let's just say, 3-4 games where he bags at least 1-2 goals, and he will kick on from there most likely. But in Premier League, against low blocks, at Arsenal, it's definitely not going to happen. 100%. Oh yeah, obviously Arsenal definitely Arsenal shirt. Exactly. We are talking about Arsenal because if you switch clubs, previous achievements is a good measuring stick, but it's not be all end all, and you cannot fully judge player from those as well at the end of the day. I agree. Gyökeres has been he has been a big disappointment for all the drama and all the pain and everything we went through. Definitely, it has been a bit of a disappointment. Even saying that, he's our top goal scorer in the Premier League, ironically enough. But we'll see how that is going to go. Not gonna lie, I prefer Norgard over Merino. When the team plays physical midfield, Merino is non-existent in the midfield. 9 saved his career. Yeah, definitely. As a 9, definitely. Playing number 9 has made Merino more useful than Arsenal than being a midfielder, ironically enough. No chance in hell. There's nowhere close that Goretzka, he is nowhere close the Unk status whatsoever. Victor Gyökeres is making 9 runs a game. Not making 9 runs a game. He's making enough runs, but not always he's getting found as well. And that, again, as I said before, it goes both ways. Let's just put it that way. Even Torreira was better than Merino. Yeah, we should look midfielders. We should look at midfielders from French league, from other leagues. The thing is, whenever we get linked with a French player, ironically enough, I always take that with massive pinch of salt. Because at Arsenal, under Mikel Arteta specifically, we haven't signed a single French player. So whenever we get linked with a French player like Bahoya, Akliuche, and all these players, I just, until it actually gets serious, I cannot take that seriously because it hasn't happened before. Only French player we have at the team is Saliba. Arteta has gotten rid of all the rest of the French players, and We don't sign that many players from the French league alone, not even talk about French players in general. I just put it that way. I wonder, same fans saying that Gyökeres is a flop. Please, Gyökeres is the most threatening weapon. It is like that. At the same time, we should also score. We should also score. Yeah, Peter wanted Sesko since the beginning. 100% he wanted Sesko since the beginning. We had these talks during summer that he wanted Sesko. He's faster and more mobile. Gyökeres has so few touches and goal involvements, let alone targets. Same for the Swedish team. I was hoping he does well. The thing about Sesko is the fact that he's taller, he's more mobile, yes, but the link-up play for him is also something that he's struggling with. It's also not perfect for him, without shadow of a doubt. That is the other thing. If Gyökeres was playing for City and Pep in Miami, he would be doing... Yeah, that goes without saying. He would be doing better, 100%. He wouldn't doing the Haaland level, right? But he would be doing better, definitely. Because Pep actually figured a way how to play with Haaland, and I think Arteta needs that too. Unfortunately for Mikel, he does not have time, and he doesn't have the cachet that Pep brings with him for people to give him that patience and that... patience and that credibility to do anything. Gyökeres diving and falling all the time. That for me is a weird one. You would think with his frame, 6'3", he would have some physicality into him, but he falls more to the ground like Ashley Young in his Man United days, which definitely makes almost zero sense, to be honest, to some degree. There's no way a player goes from scoring... I think you kind of pressed answer too early. Victor Gyökeres has never been good in the air, same as CERN. Yeah, definitely. Never crossed Thierry, so why not? It's Arsenal's DNA, isn't it? Remember when we had Giroud and we also played Walcott up top? One or the other, Wenger did. When we had Giroud up top, we played the ball into his feet in hopes that he could take a touch and run away from the defender, right? Or in behind. When we subbed off Giroud and put Walcott on, we actually started to cross the ball. We again did it a bit backwards, which is again a bit weird. So yeah, it is a bit of a weird one. Let's just put it that way. Big up. Look at Leeds. They played the way Victor Gyökeres and he scored. We have been... There's no way a player goes from nearly 100 goals in 2 seasons to be... Yeah, that is another thing. There is no chance that the player goes from scoring almost 100 goals in 107 games to basically scoring nothing. It definitely also, there's something is not right with that. But saying that, adjustments, adaptability, league, different opponents, it all plays as some sort of factor. Obviously, the fact that... this is where Mikel Arteta, for me, gets a big stick, is the fact that he has never coached out-and-out number 9 in the team. So he doesn't know what it takes to actually utilize him. Obviously, for example, me, I wanted win-now type of a striker, and Gyökeres was that. But the fact that he hasn't coached out-and-out number 9 in his career as an assistant, as a main manager, definitely is playing a very bad influence and bad part on his end. And definitely, it's not helping the team, unfortunately. Gyökeres needs to take account. Definitely. I would say it's about 70% on Arteta, 30% on Gyökeres, more or less, something like that. Chelsea should give the job to Young. He's not a shit coach. Arteta definitely is not a shit coach, because you cannot be shit and be up there. There's no chance in hell. Because if it was that easily, Burnley would be up there. Let's just put it that way. Next, he's making 9 runs again. Well, he needs to be found as well. Wouldn't score goals now. Yeah, that is also a case. I definitely believe that Haaland would not be scoring the amount of goals at all, to be honest. Nowhere near the amount of goals he's scoring at City if we have played like that. It's the manager's job to get the best. Exactly. It is, and that's why he gets quite a bit of a stick. Obviously, it's partially on the player as well, but the most part of the issue kind of falls, unfortunately, with the manager, and that's why he should be getting stick for that. Eze as well. Eze goes as well. They both are looking like failures at Arsenal at the moment, to a certain degree. To a certain degree. Don't put words into my mouth. Gyökeres doesn't look sharp compared to the rest of the team. Trossard and others move better and looks much... Yeah, That goes also with the system, with the style, with everything together. It's kind of it's worrying. Let's just put it that way, to say the least. As is proof, Arteta doesn't care what you do if you're not favorite. Yeah, Eze as well. He hasn't seen the pitch pretty much at all since that Aston Villa game we lost away, where Arteta on the sidelines absolutely yelled at him for the fact that he was cutting inside, not staying out wide and everything. It definitely is not doing him any favors in that regard. Exactly. He's not a striker. We bought Havertz as a midfielder. Yeah, we bought Havertz as a midfielder, ironically enough. And yeah, and we went from there. It's interesting that two players we have bought as midfielders are doing for us better at striker than anything. Merino was bought as a midfielder. He's better for a striker. Havertz has been bought in as a midfielder, and he's doing us they're better at the striker. Ironically enough, Havertz misses more chances than scores. Yeah, he misses more than he scores. That goes without saying, of course. Yeah, it is like that. Unfortunately, it is like that. Yeah, exactly. We bought Gyökeres because we didn't have anyone to finish the chances we create. The thing is, though, Gyökeres, the thing that maybe gets a bit overlooked in all of this is the fact that Jesus, Merino, and Havertz, they all basically take part in the link-up play to get into those positions to finish, to get the chances. And unfortunately for them, they don't have the finishing touch, right? Gyökeres, on the other hand, he excels in finishing chances, but he doesn't create, which at the end of the day is you win some, you lose some type of situation. And with Gyökeres up top, it feels like Arsenal at the moment somehow are losing more than they actually are gaining, sadly enough, obviously. But again, it's on the players as well. It's on the manager as well that they cannot bring out the best out of Gyökeres, but it's also on Gyökeres at times as well, without shadow of a doubt. 17 likes, big up to you all. You have been phenomenal today. Nobody looks you to pass Gyökeres. They look to pass to him, but not always. Definitely, there also are runs that Gyökeres makes that are sometimes questionable, because when we were looking at I was looking back, more specifically, not we, at some games where Gyökeres makes the runs and then he gets subbed off, Martinelli or Jesus plays in the 9 or drifts into the 9. Gyökeres runs straight to the far post, best case scenario, or he runs to the center of the penalty box and he stays behind the defender. The chance Martinelli missed against against Aston Villa, against Brighton, sorry. He ran in front of the defender, which he meant he basically attacked the ball as well. Jesus as well, he doesn't always run towards till the 6-yard box and everything. He actually stops and cuts back to give him that option. And sometimes Gyökeres also runs it in the wrong direction in those terms. Gyökeres needs to improve. Sometimes, yes, he needs to improve in those spaces. Big up, Hendon. Big up, Hendon. Hopefully you're doing well today, my bro. Big up Andrew as well. Big up Andrew. Big up. Big up. Hope everyone's doing well today. Yeah, that Gyökeres falling over should not be a thing. Big up Beggy. Hope you had a good day as well. Yeah, but he had what it felt like elite first touch finishing. Because as soon as Giroud got the ball, one touch, bang, it was a goal many times. I cannot say elite because he cost us the league as well, to be honest, when Leicester won it, so cannot even say that. But he had very good finishing, better than quite a few strikers we have seen at Arsenal over the time. Let's just put it that way. Yeah, that is also the case. If you want Gyökeres to work, maybe adjust the style a bit so it more fits the 22-23 style. The system we played, our defense is more solid and more concrete right now, more played together, and it looks more threatening than ever before. Because for me, at the moment, Arsenal's strongest part of the team is the defense. It's not the attack, it's the defense. Which obviously, if we played 22-23 style football, obviously it took a bit. Our defense would be looking a bit more vulnerable. I'll admit to that, but our attack definitely would gain much more because the fact that our midfield is a bit unbalanced, our attack is unbalanced, is costing us certain parts. Saying that, we are still on top of the table, so we'll see if if long term over the course of 60 odd games this season, if we get the Champions League final, Carabao final, end of the season, the league, the FA Cup, how far we get, if it's gonna pay big time at the end of the year, let's just put it that way. What part of Gyökeres' game is soft? Always in the battles, I'd say he's too coarse. One thing for sure, he's a finisher. Yeah, keeps chances coming and he'll bag most, just like Haaland. City gets loads of chances. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, but that again, we need to create for him those chances as well. Need to help with that. And you don't see, if you look at how City play, how Arsenal play, you don't see Gyökeres getting those type of chances almost at all. Saying that, Haaland actually sometimes scores a goal or creates a scoring opportunity from a very dead cross or a very dead pass which has no chance whatsoever, and it should have no ability to create anything from it, and he somehow does it. But that's just Haaland. He is arguably the best striker in the world right now, out-and-out striker in the world, obviously. So we'll see how that's going to go, but definitely Gyökeres is good. Gyökeres is sharp. He's very good, but sometimes it feels like he's soft. Big up G Wills, by the way. Big up. I'm not saying that. I'm definitely not saying that. No chance in hell I'm saying that trade Gyökeres for anyone. I'm never going to say this. I'm not that type of a person, and I still believe Gyökeres is going to bag goals. Just the question is how are we going to play and what's going to happen with that, definitely. All those moaning about Gyökeres, just wait till Jesus and Havertz are back in that sack. So we'll see. Definitely, yeah. It's going to be very interesting to see once, let's just say, Jesus starts, maybe Havertz comes on for him, or Havertz starts, Jesus comes on for him, and Gyökeres doesn't see the pitch. It will be very interesting to see. The thing is, though, it will be most likely more exciting to a certain degree to watch us with the link-up play to create the chances. But it will be 10 times more frustrating that if we get a chance and we miss it from a position where you just know in the back of your mind that Gyökeres is scoring that. So as I said, we don't have Hannah Montana settings, best of both worlds. We are not having that unless we play them either both together, or we had signed maybe, as I said, like a Julian Alvarez, who has the touch, the skill, the technical ability, the link-up play, plus he also has the finishing ability, or Griezmann or someone like that. Unfortunately, it will be most likely something like that. Gyökeres is never the first choice, exactly. Because, again, his ability, his first touch and his link-up play is definitely lacking to a very big degree in terms of Arsenal, in my opinion. That's why Jesus and Havertz get the most touches when they are in the 9, tenfold more than Gyökeres, because they have that ability to stop the ball, to fight, and everything. Big up, Mo. Big up. Everyone is making excuses for Gyökeres, but none of them were made for Havertz or Jesus or even Merino. He just hasn't been playing at an acceptable standard. Yeah, nobody's making excuses for anyone at this stage. It's just to a point where it's not looking good. Let's just put it that way. Fans have short memories. 22 when Trossard was banging goals for fun. Arteta dropped him. Yeah. Trossard won Player of the Month for February or March. He was on for it the next month. And all of a sudden, he held the bench emphatically. Emil Smith-Rowe at Arsenal as well. He won Man of the Match performances like in 2 out of 3 games once he come back in the injury in the second part of the season. After that, he held the bench. And he got sold in the summer. And Madueke is now the prime example as well. He got Man of the Match. 2 banging goals against the Belgian chocolate makers, Club Brugge. And he hasn't almost seen the pitch. Eze, Man of the Match against Spurs, hat-trick, and he hasn't almost seen the pitch. Like, it's definitely not good. Definitely not good. Yeah, that is also the case. We got told to give Kai 55 games before we judge him, and not the same going for Gyökeres. Obviously, the circumstances and everything is going to play some sort of a part into all of this. R9 wouldn't score goals. That's the thing. With R9's ability, he would not be allowed to kind of take on opponents himself. He would be definitely stopped with everything. But yeah, Havertz played 6 months in the midfield. True, and that was the reason why we drew to 10-man Fulham. We went 1-7 in December. As soon as we put Havertz up top after that infamous Dubai trip, he went on a massive purple patch. He rescued us quite a few games. He scored banging amount of goals as well. Hence why we finished again second in the league, and we throw actually Man City quite a proper challenge. And Man City were not great that season as well. Let's not forget that. And overall, yeah, but at the end of the day, it meant nothing because we didn't win anything. But yeah, there's no denying that Havertz up top is better than Havertz in midfield for Arsenal. Just like Merino, he's better for us up top than in the midfield, ironically enough. Let's just see. Jesus is looking more sharp than Gyökeres. He is, obviously, because he is better in certain aspects of the footballing style, the way we play football. He is better in it. Obviously, from my point of view, if we start Gyökeres, we'll see more build-up football. If we see Jesus, we'll see more shots. Yeah, it definitely is, because as we have talked about it throughout the whole stream, pretty much almost, that with Jesus, you get more or less everything but the finishing touch, and you get the link-up play, hold-up play, skills, technical ability, chance creation. With Gyökeres, you get the finishing touch. However, you lose the link-up play, the technical ability, hold-up play, and all this stuff. And the way I can see this work, I would love to see this work, right? It's like what France did back in the day, a few years ago, right? When they had Kante, Pogba midfield, and up top they played Giroud, who is a bigger lump, who is a finisher, like Gyökeres, let's just put it that way. And next to him, they played Griezmann. In this instance, we could try and play Jesus, right? And if we played them both together at a striker, like two striker formation, maybe then we could actually get the best out of both of them overall. But then I'm still not going to deny the fact that Jesus is a very good winger. I think for Arsenal definitely should also explore the opportunity to try and play him at a wing. Saying that, with his injury history and the amount that the running that needs to be done at wings, specifically at Arsenal, I think he would get injured very, very quickly. It's 20% Barry with Gyökeres. For me, he still deserves the trust, yeah. But damn, he sometimes looks clumsy, and the fact that he unexpectedly just falls over is a bit suspect. Exactly. Does Arteta know his strikers can complement each other? Sometimes a Jesus Gyökeres attack. Exactly. See, great minds think alike, G. Wills. Big up to you. Great minds think alike is what we need in certain games. Exactly. 4-4-2, 3-5-2 if you want to play three at the back, 5-3-2 or something like that, or 5-2-3 even. Definitely we should try something like that. Or even 4-4-1-1 with a false nine. Like you have a striker and a center forward. Put Gyökeres up top, Jesus in the false nine or something. Definitely, we should try and explore something like that. Let's just put it that way. This manager has his love child favorite. When you're a favorite, you get Gyökeres treatment. Well, the difference is Kai Merino, etc. has here way longer than Gyökeres. True as well, for a year, 2 years, or 3 years, depending on which one we're talking about here, and still didn't get us over the line. Gyökeres was bought to score goals because our strikers weren't scoring enough. Exactly. And this is the big thing. When we were in 22-23 season, Mikel Arteta in an interview openly said that he doesn't want an out-and-out striker. He prefers to share the goals around, which is very evident. Arteta doesn't mind that he doesn't have 30-goal banging striker. He much rather see Martinelli or Trossard with 15, Saka with 12, striker with 10, like basically spread the goals around so there is no instance, there is no specific threat for the opposing side they should be focusing on. Saying that, 1 year later, when we went out to Bayern Munich, Arteta also indicated in an interview that what can he do when we struggle to score? Because we don't have out-and-out number 9 who would bag those goals, which is a bit contradictory. But season after season, obviously, things change, circumstances change, opinions change, and all this stuff. I totally get it, right? But right now, Arteta has both. He has that banging striker, and he also has the spread the goals around type of striker. So it is up to him to figure out, basically, at the end of the day, how to make them work. And unfortunately, at the moment, with Gyökeres, it feels like he hasn't figured it out still. And we are half a season in already, unfortunately. Who is saying that? AJ, who is saying that? Who is saying sell Gabriel Victor Gyökeres right now? Nobody is saying that. Can Jesus score 20 goals? No, I don't think so. His best goal scoring season at Man City was 15 goals, 14 goals. But I think Jesus is a very solid number 9/winger who can give you double-digit goals and assists every season, provided he stays fit, obviously. Ultimately, Havertz and Gabriel will be injured by February, so it go back to Gyökeres. So help now before we need him. We need to figure this out. We need to figure this Gyökeres and stuff out, definitely. Oh, that's your problem. Jesus has always been a good footballer, maybe the best all-around baller in the club. Together with Trossard, I would agree with that. For me, Trossard before Gyökeres arrived, for me, Trossard was the most clinical finisher in the team, personally, right? Whether you agree with that or not, I don't know. Maybe the best all-around baller at the club probably is he's always prolific. Problem was he was never a prolific finisher. Gyökeres is this guy can compete with each other, not compared. Exactly. Put them both together and see what happens. Make them, for lack of a better word, bounce off each other. Figure stuff out. Yeah, Saka's injury as well. It has slowed him down, but Saka as well. Something has happened to him. He's for me personally too selfish. At some times, obviously, that goal scoring bonus and everything might be playing in his mind and stuff like that. But definitely Saka as well, it's not the same. Yes, he has some good games, some good moments in those games, especially like he won us those 2 free kicks against Real Madrid, right? He has some good moments when he gets us over the line. But overall performances, since he has come back from injuries, definitely should be put under the question as well to a certain degree, which also raises the question why Madueke is not getting a start or why Manieri is not getting a start. I think the left wing should be also looked at in the summer. As much as 100% left wing definitely should be resolved at some point. It's been long overdue. Trossard has been elite, but he's getting older. Trossard. How old is Trossard? Trossard is 31 years old. At the end of this year, he's going to be 32. We definitely need a Trossard replacement at some point. Semenyo is going to City. That's pretty much done and dusted by the looks of things, so we are not getting him. Barcola would be a decent option, but for me, he's kind of inconsistent in finishing as well. For me, the ideal scenario on this is Kenan Yildiz from Juventus, but will that happen? I don't think so. Maybe Rodrigo as well. Yeah, exactly. Gabriel said himself he's not a goal scorer, but that doesn't mean he cannot score. But it's not prolific. We could try 4-4-2 against Portsmouth, yeah, against Kairat as well in Champions League, 2 that game. So we'll see. But the good thing is we are future options in the future. Yeah, we have definitely. Our midfield at the moment is fine. We just need physical backup whenever Rice is injured. Onana from Villa. Yeah, that Onana a good option. We had a chance to sign Onana and we didn't. We should have signed Onana and we didn't. But that the midfield is a bit unbalanced for me still. And the issue with the Rice is the fact that for me personally, in this Arsenal side, Declan Rice is the only player without a proper backup. Only one. Because if you look at pretty much every single position in the team, we have backups, we have rotations. With Declan Rice, we have Merino. And I'm not convinced with Merino at all. For me, he's better at striker than the 8. We could play Skelly there, but under Mikel Arteta, we have never seen pretty much Skelly in the 8. He's a left back who inverts. And that is not playing the 8. Let's be real, people. Yeah, Rodrigo would cost 60. If that is the case, I hope in the summer we sign someone like that. When Jesus comes on our whole attacking lineup, look better and link up. Yeah, exactly. Our link up, our attack will look more fluid with Jesus and even Havertz up top. With Gyökeres, it's the other way around. It looks a bit like, when you try to start a car, when it's cold outside, you turn the key and it's and it takes like a half a minute and it finally starts to go. And it feels like that with Gyökeres. With Jesus, it starts instantly. The issue is you put in the neutral, you want to drive, and it just dies sometimes with Jesus because he doesn't have the finishing touch. Let's just put it that way. And that finishing touch is the biggest drawback to everything, for me personally. Trossard is having a very good season. Trossard is having a very, very, very good season for Arsenal. It's like his second youth to some degree. And yeah, for me, he still is the most clinical finisher in the team, if you're looking from that point of view. Yeah, when the game is stretched, yeah, and he's very good in that. Jesus can be poor when we start the matches. In 22-23 season, when we were playing expansive football, Jesus was fantastic when he started. Right now, he's very good when the game is stretched, the defenders are tired, then his abilities come into play, and he is the most useful and the most threatening. But for that to happen, you kind of need Gyökeres to basically tire everyone out, to add extra focus on him, shove around, drain the energy and everything. Sometimes it feels that way. Like he's the... It sometimes feels like Gyökeres is the, warm-up act before the main guy comes out. It feels like that sometimes with Gyökeres. I cannot help but feel like that at times, definitely. Honestly, 4-4-2, normal back, Noni, Odegaard, Skelly, Ezekivio, Gyökeres. Yeah, definitely. We definitely could explore some of those options without shadow of a doubt. We usually play 4-3-3, so it doesn't need that much. Our current midfield is good. Definitely midfield is good, but sometimes it feels very unbalanced. But that is, again, the unbalanced thing I'm talking about. It also happens on very specific games against specific opponents. It's not like it happens constantly. It's just specific teams, which ironically is the one that hurts us the most at times. Sadly, let's just put it that way. But hopefully we get that resolved as well. Hopefully we get that resolved as well as soon as possible. Yeah, in my opinion, Rice doesn't have a backup, and that is the biggest issue. Maybe, if Arteta is willing to sign off for that, though. If Arteta is willing to sign off for that, genuinely. But yeah, we have talked about the striker situation long enough. Let's go. Last thing we're going to talk about today. Hi, 20 likes. Big up to you all. Big up to you all. Much appreciated. What a way to start 2026. Big up Bukayo Saka fan. Big up AJ. Big up Kingpin. Big up everyone. But yeah, the last thing. Arsenal midfielder Ethan Banjiri is on the radar of Bournemouth for a potential loan move until the end of the season, which would be nice. Banjiri has slid way down Arteta's pecking order since the summer recruitment. He has not played a single minute in the last 6 Premier League matches, and the club are conscious that their youngest ever player, we'll see how they needed to sneak that one in, by the way, needs consistent senior minutes to continue his development. And I totally agree with that. He needs a loan, because if even Madueke cannot get minutes in the team after man of the match performances, there is no chance in hell Ethan Banjiri is going to play. Because you can look how you want. Left wing, we have covered. Number 10, we have covered. Right wing, technically speaking, we have also covered. And when Madueke was injured, Banjiri still didn't get minutes. When Saka was injured, Madueke played. Banjiri still didn't get minutes. And not to stifle, not to basically halt his development, we definitely need to loan out Ethan, I think, at this stage. It has come to that point. I think it has come to that point as well. I kind of agree with that, definitely. But yeah, we'll see. We're definitely going to see what's going to happen with that. We're definitely going to see. Do your FPL teams? Yeah, deadline is tomorrow. Deadline is tomorrow, 11 a.m. UK. I wish Osimhen wage demands weren't so high. He's the yeah, Osimhen would have been the ideal option for Arsenal in the summer. I read today, by the way, that if once Harry Kane leaves, and if he leaves Bayern Munich this summer or next, Bayern Munich are going to try and sign Victor Osimhen. I already read that in the news articles. I keep hearing Berta will be selling Ethan, but with a buyback clause in there. I'd rather loan. I don't want this. Unless it's a 10 million buyback clause like Real Madrid are loaning out paused with 8 million buyback clause and stuff like that. I don't want to see. Big up to you. Big up. Big up to you, Bukayo Saka fan. Big up to you. And yes, if he doesn't win anything, he should get sacked. It's just the process. BS is annoying. Yeah. If he doesn't win, I think it's time. It's time to go if Arteta doesn't win anything. But there is still a long way to go. We still can win stuff. And when the thing is, for example, when you say if he doesn't win anything, for me personally, Carabao Cup is not enough. personally. If we get to final and win the final in the March, for me, it's not enough. I need a major. It has come to a point where Carabao Cup and FA Cup, as much as I love those and I want to win those, it's just not cutting it. After all this time and all this trophy drought, after 6 years or so, we need majors, in my opinion. And we'll see how that's going to play out by the end of the season. 22 likes. Big up to you all. Much appreciated. Much love, people. Big up, Gary. Big up, Gary. Hope you're doing well. Don't waste the trip. Big up to you, my guy. Hope you're doing well. Hope this Friday has treated you well. And go subscribe to Gary as well, people. Go show him some love, of course. I will say it again. If we win the League Cup, we win the Prem as well. If we don't win, nothing again. It could come to that. It definitely could come to that. Because I think for Arsenal to win something major, it kind of feels like we need to taste what it feels like to win something. And obviously, this team as a collective unit has not won anything. So it might be the time. Big up. Here is Gary's link, people. Go subscribe to him. Big up, big up, big up, big up. Big up. Go subscribe to Gary. But yeah, people, I think on that note, I'm going to end today's stream. It has been a blast. Obviously, tomorrow, 5:30 p.m., Arsenal are playing against Bournemouth. After that, half an hour later, 8 p.m. UK time, I am going live. We're going to talk about this. We're going to react. Hopefully, it's going to be a positive outcome. So far, Arsenal have done a very good job writing last season's wrongs into rights this season. And last season, we lost 2 times against them. So hopefully this season, we can win 2 times against them. So definitely, it's going to be a fantastic one. And hopefully, we actually get the job done. But for today, have a nice evening. Have a nice day tomorrow. Hopefully, Arsenal make us happy again tomorrow. But for now, I'm signing off. So take care, stay safe, and see you very, very, very soon. Peace.